Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a topic that is absolutely critical for your upcoming exams, India's massive new bet on nuclear energy. And no, we're not talking about those giant old-school power plants you might be thinking of. We're talking about something way smaller, way more flexible, and potentially a complete game changer.
All right, so let's get right to the heart of it. The big question on everyone's mind. What is the deal with corporate giants like Reliance, Tata, and Adani all of a sudden betting big on these tiny nuclear reactors? You see, this is a huge deal. For decades, nuclear power was strictly the government's turf. Now the biggest names in the private sector are jumping in, and we need to understand exactly why.
And just look at this list. We're talking about the absolute heavyweights of Indian industry. Reliance, Tata, Adani, Hindalco. It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? These are companies that need enormous amounts of reliable 24/7 power for their operations. They've all officially shown interest in what's being called the Bharat Small Modular Reactors, or BSMR project. And this isn't a small-scale experiment. They're already looking at 16 potential sites across 6 different states.
Okay, but hang on. Before we jump into all the strategy and the big picture economics, let's do what you do for your exam papers. Build a super strong foundation on the science first. You got to know the core principles to really master this topic.
So, what in the world is a small modular reactor? You'll see this acronym everywhere, SMR. Well, the secret is right there in the name. First, it's small. It produces up to 300 megawatts electric, which is a fraction of a traditional plant. Second, and this is key, it's modular. That means parts are built in a factory, like Lego blocks, and then just assembled on site. This is a massive departure from how things were done before.
Now, here's the thing. SMRs, they're not reinventing the wheel when it comes to the basic physics. They use the exact same principle of nuclear fission you've already studied. It's a simple, elegant 5-step dance. Step 1, uranium atoms split. That's fission, releasing a ton of heat. Step 2, that heat boils water to make high-pressure steam. Step 3, the steam blasts through and spins a turbine. Step 4, the turbine spins a generator. And step 5, boom, you get clean, stable electricity.
Okay, exam takers, listen up. Comparison questions. They're a classic, right? So let's really nail down what separates an SMR from a traditional, massive nuclear power plant. The differences are huge, and they're exactly why SMRs are getting so much attention.
And wow, the differences are pretty stark. First, capacity is smaller, 300 MWE versus over 1,000. Construction, it's modular, factory-built, not a one-off, custom project. That leads directly to the biggest advantage, much lower upfront costs. But for me, the most crucial difference, the real game changer, is safety. SMRs rely on something called passive safety systems. Think of it this way. An active system needs power and people to work, like hitting the brakes in a car. A passive system uses natural forces, like gravity, to shut down safely, no power needed. It's designed to fail safe, automatically.
And here's that magic number again. You've got to lock this one in for your exams, because it's the defining feature. The power capacity for a single SMR unit is right in that sweet spot, 30 to 300 megawatt electric.
Okay, so we've got the what and the how. We get it. But why now? Why this massive push in India right this second? Well, it all connects directly to some of India's biggest promises on the world stage, our commitments to fight climate change and fuel our industrial growth.
This quote really says it all. The government sees SMRs as a technology of promise that can help in industrial decarbonization. That word right there, decarbonization, is the key word you need to remember. We're talking about cleaning up industries like steel, aluminum, and cement, the ones that are super hard to power with just solar or wind.
And this all fits into a much bigger picture, a grand strategy for India. Number 1, hitting that ambitious net zero by 2070 target. Number 2, getting clean, round-the-clock power. This is so important because SMRs don't stop when the sun goes down or the wind stops blowing. Plus, think about the future. Things like AI data centers, they are thirsty for power. SMRs could be the answer. And hey, it's also about making India a global leader in this new tech.
All right, time for some key terms for your notes. You absolutely need to know these names. The official program is the Bharat Small Modular Reactors Project, or BSMR. And the main government body driving this is the Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited, or NPCIL. Remember those two.
But of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. The road ahead has some pretty serious bumps. And for your exams, you have to know the challenges just as well as the benefits,
because showing you know the cons, not just the pros, is what scores you the top marks.
So let's break down the 5 major roadblocks. We've got regulatory hurdles, especially with the old Atomic Energy Act. The economics are still a question mark. Technologically, we haven't built our own working model yet. Then there's the whole fuel supply and nuclear waste puzzle. And finally, public perception, getting people to trust the technology. Now, how do you remember these 5 for the exam? Easy. An easy way to lock this in, remember the letters R, E, T, F, P. Think of it like this. Real exam takers face problems. How perfect is that?
Okay, so with all those challenges, what's the game plan? What's the way forward? And most importantly, what are the absolute must-know points you need to walk away with for your revision? Let's break it down.
Well, here are the 5 big steps India is looking at to make this whole SMR dream a reality. First, amend the laws to allow for public-private partnerships. Second, build a pilot project to prove our own tech works. Third, find clever ways to pay for it, like using green bonds. Fourth, work with global leaders like the US, Russia, and France. And fifth, and this is so important, be open and transparent with the public to build trust.
Okay, everyone, this is it, your final revision slide. Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet for the exam. If you remember nothing else, remember this. 1. SMRs are small modular reactors in that 30-300 MWE range. 2. India's program is the SMR project, run by MPCIL. 3. The big private players are Reliance, Tata, and Adani. 4. The big goal is meeting our net zero 2070 target. 5. The challenges? Just remember our mnemonic, RETFP. And one final advanced point. India is also looking at light water reactor designs to keep pace with global standards. Go ahead, screenshot this slide. It's got everything. And that leaves us with one final massive question to think about. When you combine the raw ambition of India's private sector with the full-throated push from the government, you have to ask, is India really on the verge of leading a global small nuclear revolution? The answer? Well, that's a story that's going to unfold over the next decade. Thanks for diving into this with us.